Welcome back. Last time we finished off moving our Tycoon from, I believe it was Falcon 74, across to Chevy 34. At the time I thought I had enough batteries to do that. I believe that was a very incorrect assumption, and in fact I spotted during the editing that my batteries were flat, probably half the journey across, so I definitely need to think about getting more batteries, and there's been some consequences from that. Let's start with Sector 3, where stability is very low. They're angry with me. There's an extra -3 from the fact they're starving. Now, they're not starving because of a lack of food. I think they were starving because all my buildings were shut down due to not having enough power. So there's a lot of different things I need to take care of here, including the fact that I can now build fire stations, which is something to be aware of. If I look at my batteries, they are now all fully charged again. It doesn't take them terribly long to charge once you get to a destination, but certainly the 300 power in sectors 1 and 3 does not seem to have been enough. So I guess there are two ways to approach that. One is you just get more and more batteries, but the other way is to shut down a whole lot of buildings immediately before traveling so that you're not using all of that power. I think we might have to play a bit of both for the next time we move. But what I will do right now, because it's convenient to fit them there, is put 2 batteries there for Sector 3. And Sector 1 doesn't really have that option. If I got rid of one of my stockpiles, I could get 2 batteries in here, possibly 3 in fact. Otherwise I can squeeze one in down here. Actually, I do have the option of putting one up there as well, and there's not much else that's going to happen up there, quite honestly. So let's do that. However, I have just placed down 4 of these, and they are 40 alloy each. I've only got 104. Let's not that button, this button. Let's get rid of that one for the moment. That still means I need 120, but I've got no, I don't even have any iron. Okay, I do have iron coming soon-ish. I'm going to be mining it. I'm not going to panic too much about the alloys, but certainly getting more iron is going to become a requirement in the not too distant future. With that in mind, we might go and look for some more of it. I don't think there's any more over this side, which is fair enough. I don't really want to be here all that long anyway. There was some more. There's definitely some carbon over there, and there's definitely ice. They will need more ice at some point. I think it might all be within that anomaly, which is not helpful. There is possibly some down here. I think I've already discovered that set. Yeah, I'm going to send a probe over here, wherever the spike is. Because I've got a feeling we're going to end up in that sector at some point. May as well have it discovered before I get there. Now, at this point I shall unpause and see if we can figure out exactly what's going on. I've also got this to take care of. Yes. Avoid entering space weather for 20 cycles. 20 cycles? Yeah, I think I can safely say we'll be here that long.
Administrator, a new request awaits your attention.
And now this sector wants me to say something. Okay. So, some people are at least vaguely happy that we collected our colonists and didn't just leave them behind on an icy rock, and that seems fair enough. Right, there was an accident here, there's nothing much I can do about that, it will take care of itself in due course. This is definitely the mess hall. Let's do that button, that might solve my problem. Let's have them eat now. Rather than waiting another 2.2 cycles. Come on everybody, get happy, get food. Yay, they're no longer starving, they're no longer upset with me. Or at least, they are no longer as upset with me. Neutral, neutral, negative, yeah. Okay, I think we've averted that particular crisis. There is insufficient alloy anywhere in Tycoon. Okay, that's fine. This one is charging, excellent. There's a way of rotating. Okay, the battery's coming out of the ground. I guess that's its indication of how it's charged. The water supply. Yes, I have run out of ice. Excellent. Okay. And when I say excellent, I'm being quite sarcastic. This. I think we already decided we were going to establish that kind of infrastructure. And that requires 50 alloys, which is hopefully already loaded on cargo ships and on its way. Otherwise, I've got definite problems with the alloys and the iron. But I may as well make sure that, yes, iron is prioritized of the collections. Cool. Send another probe out already. I might look for a second location for that. Sort of what I'm thinking, like, it took a lot of my power to get from, I think it was here, across to there. I don't want to go back through this cloud, so I either will go down through Plymouth or up through Deville, and I'm thinking Deville might be the better option. I can look and see if there's any more resources I can collect at some point. Otherwise, it's very much a case of wait for these things to do their job, and thankfully I don't have to wait for them to travel very far this time. So possibly a lesson for next time is don't scan so far out. Instead, what was I trying to say? Move the Tycoon first, then pick up stuff in shorter distances. I suspect moving the Tycoon more frequently might have benefits.
A probe has completed its scan.
Okay, Sector 2 also wants me to do something. What's this?
Administrator, a new request awaits your attention.
Presumably that's the one I just clicked on. Okay, integrity below. Yes. Okay. This is one of those frustrating little events of I now have to make a decision without the information in front of me. I don't know what my hull percentage is right now. I don't have alloys to fix it. Anyway. basically we need alloy, which means now that the iron is arriving, that needs to be on, and this needs to be on, and they are the priority systems out of absolutely everything right now. Yeah, in fact they are higher priority than this, quite honestly. And now that one can finish, I don't mind that one so much, it's nearly done anyway. Yeah. We've got some iron, we've got some iron. This is switched on. Just double checking out there. Yep. Cool, 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 cool. Okay. Okay, and to avoid future problems with this, let's make sure that resolving starvations is switched on in all of my sectors. Yes, good.
A probe has completed its scan.
Okay, let's go back to the big map. This, if I can click on it successfully, needs to be marked as a void at the moment. Incidentally, 900 is a lot. 800, yeah, there's a lot over there. If you compare that to these ones, 38, 152. Admittedly, we've already started doing stuff to these, but yeah. I feel like it's definitely trying to encourage me to go into the whatever that event is. 138, yeah. So at the moment I'm thinking more opt down here, but that was why I wanted to send another probe. Is there any more iron in this vicinity? There's a tiny bit, and that's already in there. No, we don't want that. There's a tiny bit around there somewhere. We don't want a tiny bit, we want. That's a bigger spike, but again, that's inside this event. I think we've discovered all the safely collectible iron already. Is it perhaps a tiny bit over here? Right. Has this accumulated? No. One of you needs to be on transfer that duty, please. And then we go back to actually not being paused. I don't actually recall pausing it, but that's okay. Watch our numbers here as they come in, 170-ish. Yeah. Okay. Inside view. This is functioning. We've got iron coming through. That's full at the moment. Has this got? No. Okay. We're repairing 50 per cycle, more or less. I can't do anything to speed that up as far as I'm aware, other than making sure I don't run out of alloys. You're full up, that's fine, you're doing your job. Yeah. I would like to finish moving alloys around and doing what I need to do with them, but I need to prioritize fixing the Tycoon. chances of getting it all done within the remaining 20 cycles. We might get there. 75% of 900 is going to be...
A science ship team has completed a task.
725, I think, so definitely think we're going to get there now. Excellent. Let's just wait till that happens. Or maybe not quite wait, let's go and look at that science event. Okay. Okay. Receive an alert for they had spotted a gigantic... Okay. Interesting. Yes, investigate the report. Let's hope we don't lose a science ship. That would be really annoying. Let's just speed that back up again. Okay, we've got back up to 75%. My maths was clearly off target.
Completed a task.
Okay, I'm going to wait, because we encountered this problem before where your science ship can keep collecting science, but if you then click on the event that destroys the science ship, you lose all the science. So I'm just going to let that finish. Meanwhile, yeah, we've collected most of that already. Gosh. Okay, how are we going in terms of workers? Yeah, we've got enough at the moment. Let's switch on, not that one, this one. This can handle that. And this sector may have the same issue. Not that I really have anything here that can do it, but if we switch this one over... Okay, back to here. Okay, we've got the science. Okay, that's fine. It's just a molluscoid-shaped rock. Fair enough. Okie dokie, we have mined almost all of the iron at this point. So I'll make sure that they are ready to mine other materials as well. They are, that's great. Start thinking about the same sort of thing in terms of collection, so let's go with 1 second. Yes, okay, that is the second priority, and then this is the third. Oops. Like that. Yes. Okay, I should be able to ignore that view for a little while. Although you can return to the Tycoon. Basically, the only thing I think I want to be doing out here now is just collecting all those resources right next to the Tycoon. Once I've done that, we will move move to a different location and try to do it without running out of battery power. Speaking of which, this can now resume, and I can safely put out the other one I was going to put out before. And that should bring me up to 500 in sectors 1 and 3. Sector 2 still has 700. Water. Water could be a problem at some point. This is waiting on silicon, but we're going to pick that up soon. I think we're okay. Everyone is optimal.
An accident has occurred in the type.
Apart from the accidents happening, please don't be in here. Accident was in sector 3. Oh. Alright. It's kind of okay for the moment. I guess my other question is there anything else I need to be constructing now that I have some alloys? Possibly yes, but the ideal place to do it would be in sector 1, which has no room. Because I could make use of another... what's the word? I think of them as parks, but they are alternative life centers and things like that. Another happiness generator. That won't fit. Nope, that's fine. Okay, that's been cleared out, that's been cleared out. These two haven't. And we're okay for the moment. This may as well be switched off for the time being. I don't have any ice to store. Likewise, we'll be picking up carbon soon. That's alright.
An accident has occurred in the typhoon.
Yeah. Oh. Insect farm has an accident. Alright, that's fine. Speaking of accidents, I no longer remember where all my ephemeries are. You're okay. You're okay. Cool. Just double checking we don't have issues with running out of beds or anything. We are pulling in the silicon again. We are making electronics again. I've got what I once would have considered to be a giant abundance of electronics, considering you start with about 2. Okay. I think it would be wise to find some ice. There was ice somewhere out here that I didn't bother locating previously. There's a bit there. Let's grab that one. While I'm at it, do I want that extra bit of hydrogen? This is close to full. And this one's nowhere near it. Okay. Let's tell one of you to do that, and one of you to do that. But still prioritize the things I can actually make more use of. Yeah, they're No way gonna fit. No way, Jose. What about this thing? Do I have...
The probe has completed its scan.
Cool, thank you. Slowing down just a bit. Where is... Right. That's the DLS center for Sector 2. I think Sector 1 still doesn't have one. I certainly can't see it visually. If I do this, yeah, I can build one, therefore it's not currently in existence. It is giant. Yeah, I don't think there's a way I can do that without knocking things down. I could potentially get rid of this in the hopes of building a new one in a different sector at some point, but I've got a feeling when we get over here, we're going to be rescuing people very quickly and then trying to jump out of here. And that all sounds very dangerous and yeah, no idea. Don't ask me, by the way, why all my do-do-do-dos have nothing to do with the music that's playing. I think it just goes to show that my brain's basically going into like a holding pattern. Right, you've got alloy, you've got batteries. You cannot function because you no longer have enough ice. Does that stop my water from working? Hopefully not. We'll watch this for a minute and see what happens. Because I need the water for my farming. And honestly, with the amount of food I have right now, I could potentially switch that off for a minute. Yes, I saw the number go down from 545 to 530. No, I don't want to prematurely harvest. I would like to temporarily switch this off, I think. Yeah. I've got food building up in each of my farms, which means I'm producing it way faster than I'm using it, which in turn means that eventually I just reach a point where my farms are going to waste food. Okay. Working on the assumption that we're going to be in this sector for 2 planets worth of studying. I don't think I need more carbon at this point, but ice would be useful. So I was looking for ice out here. There was... where is it? There's a bit there. I recently revealed something. What was it? I recently revealed this. Okay. This needs to be avoided currently. Happy New Year. Okay, I am now 2 years into the game's cycle. I have no idea if that's a good thing or a bad thing. It honestly feels like it might be a really bad thing. Why isn't this functioning? Bulk storage is full. Okay. You can collect that and you can be switched on, and we can make sure we've got enough people to do that. At which point I could honestly switch that one off. Okay, that one can be on, this one can be off. There's a lot of balancing act to this game. Alright. We have collected everything out here that was of significant value. Let's get that bit happening. I intended to avoid that earlier, but too bad. While we're in this area, we may want that.
A probe has completed its scan.
Okay. No, we do not want any of these just yet. Thank you. Oops. I'm glad I was in that view when that happened. And once I collect that, these will need to be switched on, or at least this one will need to be switched on. How many people do we have here? Yes, we can definitely afford to have 5 more working. At least for the time being. Basically, I'm just trying to fill up this store. Once it's approaching full, I will... Well, I suppose I can switch that one on briefly too. Sector 1... Yep, that's okay. This can be on briefly. And we can look at this and we can say hydrogen 1 and 2. We want both of you to be...
A probe has completed its scan.
as full as you can be. Okay. You're now full. This is approaching full. The next time my cargo ship arrives, I think that's enough.
An accident has occurred in the Tycoon.
You're unable to produce because there's too many polymers in my station. Yep. Honestly, not surprised. That thing's been churning out polymers far faster than I'm using probes. I could potentially try to store some more, but I'm not going to bother. Alright, let's just double check on the cargo situation. You're carrying... Yep, okay. You no longer need to harvest that. Once you return, you no longer need to pick it up. In fact, I can solve that by clicking that button. Okay, interior view. We've got hydrogen here. That's full. That's full. I picked up more than I needed. Switch that off. That I think might have been the sound of my cargo ship or my mining ship landing. Let's just double check. Yes. Okay. Now. You may as well be switched off because you can't be doing anything useful anyway. I forget whether that produces waste or is only this one. I don't know if I need that waste center to be switched on right now. You don't need to be switched on right now. You're functional, you're functional. I feel like there's more. There we go. There. Yeah, that's alright. And the food, yeah, we've still got tons. Tons and tons and tons. We have silicon, we're producing electronics, that could keep functioning. However, what I will now do is save the game again because I'm about to travel. And while I am trying hard not to save scum, I will allow myself a certain degree of latitude. If things go completely bonkers wrong because I make some stupid mistake, then I might load. Otherwise, I don't intend to. So the theory here, we're using 403 throughout the station, 403 power that is, throughout the station. How can I put this? That is the amount I would need to sustain per cycle, I think, through my batteries. And it will take multiple cycles to get to my destination. Therefore, it would be sensible to switch off a multitude of things, maybe not so many in this particular sector. But this, for example, that does not need to be on right now. We are not training colonists. I don't think we're producing waste. Your storage is full for some reason. Okay. Let's switch off that. That one can keep going for a second, but I will switch it off momentarily. That can be off. That can be off. Those possibly need to be on. This takes 12 power. Okay. That's how I can check. Does this tell me somewhere? No, this one. Consuming 139, consuming 119, consuming 119. I believe the intelligent thing to do is to switch off as much as possible. Anything that's not fundamental to survival, i.e. infirmaries, happiness generators, food, mainly the food eating, less so the food production. I believe everything else should be switched off, including this and this, which should have been off already anyhow, and that which shouldn't have any silicon in it, that should be moved to sector 3, but we'll deal with that later. That can be switched off. That can be switched off. Food needs to be on. This can be switched off. Actually, what I'll do is I'll leave that one on and switch this one off. I'm presuming you can still do EVA stuff whilst traveling, therefore that should be on. This I will leave on because I don't know if that is required for repairing it. This can be off. What is that? I could potentially switch those off too, but they only hold 2. That is already off. This can be off. This can be off. That needs to be on. That can be off. These can possibly be off. I don't intend on sending my ships out whilst traveling. Off. Off. Okay. How are we going? 101, 73, 83. Can I switch off a bit more here? I could switch off the tech center, which might not be the worst idea. It's not going to be off for long, in theory. And let's switch off at least one of your farms. Right, 84. I'd prefer to get it down to 75-ish, which means switching off both of these. Okay. Now there are several things I would like to discover in this transit. First of all, it gives me an indication. 5.7 cycles. 5.6 cycles. It's ever so slightly closer. That is 3 cycles. What I would really like right now is to be able to spend less time in the anomaly, which none of these options really give me. Okay. I honestly thought that going all the way out to Plymouth would get me around this. I didn't think it would do this sort of dogleg. I thought it would go out more and then curve in following the orbit line. No such luck. Let's do the short jump. Yes. Now previously when I've been doing this, I have sat here watching it this way and not looked at anything else.
Caution. Entering stellar storm.
Yep, I'm aware of that. The batteries are going down at an okay-ish rate. These are still functioning. Yeah, cool. And we are nearly through. Okay, that should be settling down momentarily. We get to Parenti 85, we wait for our batteries to, as it turns out, instantly recharge. Okay, I will think about whether I'm traveling again straight away or not between episodes. Catch you in the